expansion of Heathrow Airport and indeed of airports around the country is an utter disaster. It's the absolute front line of the struggle on climate change.
It's also a noise issue. I mean, the quality of life for people living under the flight path is presently a misery.
The links between aviation and climate change are very strong indeed.
And now, of course, they've started again. We don't need a third runway.
I can't see any way that we can keep emissions in the country down if we allow these airports to expand. But at the same time, if we manage to prevent them from being expanded, I think we will completely turn the tide in terms of not just this issue, but whole range of carbon-intensive investments.
What is being contemplated is an increase in flights above the 475,000 limit that the T5 Inspector Vandermeer imposed to 800,000 flights per annum.
We have a climate change, whether we like it or not, and I think we've got to do something about it. If we don't stop them now, we probably endanger our planet for our children and grandchildren.
We could say, no, let's not expand these airports. Let's start with Heathrow and not expand that, and then we can look at not expanding the rest of aviation. It could be the turning point. So it could be an exciting opportunity to start to turn this thing around.
Aviation is the fastest growing contributor to climate change worldwide. In the UK, aviation contributes 13% of all global warming emissions.
Pollution levels are high enough here.
Without a doubt, the extension of Heathrow will affect the quality of my life. We don't need any more traffic through, we don't need any more traffic in the sky either.
We really do need to do something about it. It is really hypocritical of the Brown government to say it is concerned about tackling climate change and to build a third runway at Heathrow. You cannot, on the one hand, say, I'm serious about climate change, and on the other hand say, my answer is to expand the biggest international airport in the world.
Aviation is one of the fastest growing sources of greenhouse gas emissions in the UK. Gordon Brown would be utterly reckless if he allows a third runway to be built at Heathrow Airport.
I'm opposed to the expansion of Heathrow Airport because I believe that climate change is one of the most serious problems facing this planet, and airport expansion is not the way to go about solving it. The airport expansion is a way to make a really serious problem much worse.
Plans for a third runway at Heathrow are just unbelievable in the face of climate change. Christian Aid, for example, are expecting over 180 million people to die in Africa this century alone because of climate change. And at the same time, the scientists are saying that the growth in aviation has to be curbed if we're to stop climate change. And yet the government, because it's notoriously close to the aviation industry, is pushing ahead with its plans for expansion, irrespective of what the scientists are saying. And that is frankly irresponsible.
It is destroying people's lives, it is destroying communities, it is sapping people's health. Now that's a local perspective. A global perspective would state that actually the continued unsustainable expansion of aviation that this government intends is totally incompatible with doing something about saving the planet.
I think it's crazy that we're expanding airports at this time of ecological crisis. We need to be doing all we can to reduce emissions, and building more airports is not the solution.
Expansion of airports in the UK is simply unsustainable.
Why should local communities be destroyed when there is a shortage of housing stock? All for the economic mantra, all growth is good. I simply do not accept all growth is good. That is the motto of the cancer cell, and that is what Heathrow Airport has now become.